necessarily the opinions of the radio station or anybody associated with the radio station or ownership. These are strictly his own opinions, and sometimes they're not even his opinions.
Can you get me a type C?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
You're tired.
Well, the lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the Junkyard Dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Thom Abraham Show. I knew it was talking. It's just this little slidey thing you got to push up so that you guys can hear me. It is a Reaction Monday here in the Doghouse, and we have a short show for you today with Florida State. Check that, with Florida and NC State coming up in Omaha in the College World Series. It is an elimination game. I mean, this World Series has already started to be very, very interesting. It got started on Friday with that crazy finish to the Tennessee-Florida State game. Did you see that? I mean, it was absolutely nuts. The check swing by the Tennessee player that looked for all the world to be strike three and looked like it would have ended that deal. I mean, that game was over. Blake Burke is his name. He was up. It was a 2-2 count. 2 men on, 2 outs, men on second and third. And Burke checks the swing, and they call it a ball. And then on the next pitch, he rips it up the middle. 2-run score, ties the game at 11. And then Tennessee goes on to win the game 12-11. I mean, it was just absolutely bonkers. I mean, Rory McIlroy thought that was a painful end. Yeah, I did that. I went there. That's exactly what I did. I went there. Man, we got to get into that as well in the amount of time that we have for you here. We'll get into the U.S. Open, and it may have been a seminal moment in professional golf. I got to be totally honest with you. Could Bryson DeChambeau's stunning victory with a final hole shot for the ages be the impetus to bring the golf world back together? I mean, it was one thing when Brooks Koepka won the PGA last year. I mean, Koepka only plays a handful of events anyway when he was on a PGA Tour, and for some reason he's not that revered. He's just kind of distant, doesn't seem to have any personality. He's a cold-blooded killer, there's no doubt. But DeChambeau is a unicorn. I mean, he is a unique style of golf. He's the mad scientist. He has great respect for the game, and now all of a sudden he has personality. What was up with that? You know, he used to be an automaton. We thought this guy was a robot. We thought he was like, Frankenstein or something. Lost some weight. Lost some of that bulk that he had gotten. I don't know where he found his personality. Maybe he found it out there on the Live Tour, playing in his shorts with music on and doing shotgun 54-hole tournaments. I don't know. All I know is that he showed great personality. He hit a 55-yard shot out of a trap with a 50-degree wedge that is the length of a 4-iron, because all of his clubs are the same length. He's weird, but the bottom line is we need these guys on the PGA Tour. We need these guys on the PGA Tour. I'm all for Scotty and Xander and Rory being out there, but we need to have the top 10 or so guys that are playing in live golf back on the PGA Tour somehow. To see them just 4 times a year is absurd. And to think that when they win, that all of a sudden people are going to flock to the CW to watch live golf is also absurd. We'll see you next month at the British Open, and then 8 months later at Augusta. That's the bottom line. Coming up in a few minutes, Golf Digest senior writer Matt Rudy will join us to talk about this Open and what it means. Did Rory McIlroy lose this Open? Or did Bryson DeChambeau win this Open? Bryson DeChambeau tried to crap this thing down his leg as well on 18. He knocks it over in the crap on the left side. He doesn't have a swing. He punches it out into a trap. 55-yard sand shot. I mean, he's making 5. We're going to overtime. No doubt about it. And yet, he knocks it up there 3.5 feet and makes the putt to win. And everybody's going to remember he knocked it up there 3.5 feet to make the putt to win. 2 holes previous, he was down by 2 strokes. And Rory McIlroy started shanking 4-foot putts. Rory McIlroy hadn't missed a 4-foot putt in his last 500 4-foot putts. Now, that was the stat. It was like 496 straight putts he had made, 4-foot or less. And he shanked 2 of them on 16 and 18. It was painful. And I got to be totally honest with you. It had me in a weird place Sunday. I found myself not in a weird place in as much as I was in my Barca lounger, but I was in a weird place after I cooked for everybody. You know, everybody comes over. Not everybody, about 15 people, grandkids and kids came over. And my wife's like, what do you want to do to feed these people? And I'm like, well, I see we got a bunch of rolls over there. And I got some chicken that's already thawed. And I just made an announcement to everybody at 2 o'clock. They all showed up between 1:30 and 2:30. So 2:30 or so, I made an announcement. I said, I'm going to put every burger I got, every hot dog I got, and every piece of chicken I got thawed. I'm going to put all of that on the grill, and you guys can fight over it. Just whack it up. All right? I'm just going to put everything on the grill that'll fit, and then you guys go nuts. And that's what we did. So Saturday, I didn't see hardly anything. Golf tournament in the morning, and then I turn around, and my son's like, hey, let's go out on the lake. Oh, okay. Out on the lake on his pontoon boat in the afternoon. We were out there till 5 or 6 o'clock, whatever it was, floating around in the lake. I mean, it was a good time. Then Sunday morning, when my wife tells me, hey, I invited the kids over to Father's Day. You know what Father's Day would be good for me? Just kind of sitting by myself. Well, they're your kids. It's your father. You're their father. I say, I know. Just tell them they can come over. So now that the kids are coming over, I get up on Sunday morning. I got to cut the grass. 7 o'clock Sunday morning. I got to cut the grass before church. 7:25, something like that. My neighbors are in Italy. So since my neighbors are out of the country, I figured I can cut the grass. So I cut the grass at 7:30 in the morning before church. Get the trimming done. Didn't do the back lot. I just did the around the house. Did all of the weed whacking and everything else. Jumped in the shower at 9. Left for church at 9:20. Got to church at 9:22. Church right down the street. And came home. Went to lunch after church. She says, I want to take you to brunch for Father's Day. So she took me to brunch. So she used the credit card that's on our joint checking account, but she used hers. We both have credit cards on our board. She goes, oh, let me pay. That's okay. So she used her joint card. Got home, and they started showing up. And I just threw everything on the grill. So by 2:30 or so, I'm in the Barca Lounger. Finally, I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch a little bit. Watch the Stallions win the championship for the 3rd time in a row. I'm going to watch the U.S. Open. You get ready to watch the Yankees lose 2 out of 3 to the Red Sox over the weekend. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching this thing, and I'm in a weird place emotionally because I'm a PGA Tour guy. I hate this live golf thing. I hate what Greg Norman did. I hate that the Saudi money is involved in that deal. Rory has been the standard bearer for the PGA Tour. He was the one that was going after them. He was the one that was the most vocal about all of this. So I'm pulling for Rory because he's the PGA. I don't want the guy from the live golf to just show up and win the U.S. Open and go back to live golf. The problem is the guy from live golf is an American. And the guy from the PGA Tour is an Irishman. He's an Irishman that's pretty much like an American. He lives here. Doesn't even have an accent. Probably when he goes over to Ireland, he probably starts talking like that accent, but he doesn't even have an accent. He's about as American as it comes with the Rory McIlroy, but he's still an Irishman. He's not on our team at a Ryder Cup. If you're not on our team at a Ryder Cup, you're not an American. So I'm sitting there and I'm pulling for the Irishman over the American. So I was vacillating. And the crowd would start chanting, USA, USA. I thought the crowd would start chanting, PGA, PGA. But it was hard not to pull for Bryson a little bit. And then there's the whole Rory story, getting divorced from his wife, and then he's getting back together now. They canceled the divorce. Now they're getting back together. You know, I love that story. All right, phone lines are open. I don't know. Do we have time to take a phone call or not? We got Matt Rudy coming up here in a few minutes from Golf Digest. Lines are open, 256-576-4977. You can text the show, 732-9TA show, 732-982-7469. It's a great way to communicate with us. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN. We're also on Facebook at 97.7 ESPN, where you can get a link to our YouTube channel, and you can watch this mess right there on the YouTube. Please subscribe to that bad boy. Go to 97.7ESPN.com and get links to all of that stuff, and get our app. You want the app. You want the app so you can get the links to Zone 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you want to snag the Talk Radio WZZN app for all your Trash Panda action. It's Talk Radio WZZN at your app store and on the air at 97.7-2, not to be confused with Zone 2, is where you'll find the home of the Trash Pandas, Talk Radio. Congratulations to Jay in Athens, coming in at -1 with Scotty Scheffler. Yes, for Jay. Woo! Scotty Scheffler, who was +6, Xander Schauffele, who was -1, and Bryson DeChambeau, who was -6. So that leaves Jay in Athens at -1. Scotty Scheffler, when he finished his round, had missed the cut. I texted Grizz. I said, nobody's going to win the thing because Scotty Scheffler missed the cut. Then everybody backed up to him. He was like in the car getting ready to leave, and they're like, you made the weekend. Oh, now I got to go play as last place guy. But he played the 2 rounds over the weekend, 1 over. He was 5 over for the first 2 days, 74-71. And then he played the weekend 1 over. So give him credit for that. And Jay in Athens is the winner of our golf. So that's a good job by him. All right, over there in the little glass room, playing the Platters That Matter and Stacks of Wax, answering the phones, keeping us on the air, keeping us on the video as well. It's the one and the only DJ Grizzy Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's a radio show. It ain't a 1-hour television spectacular.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Now, Tom. Hey, Tom.
He may be the smartest person that I've ever met.
Testosterone high today.
What's that?
Testosterone, whatever the it is. Testosterone.
I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
It really doesn't matter what you think. All right? It really doesn't matter what you say.
Grizzalicious, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing better than most of the Braves' arms right now. It just seems like one's just going down right after the other. The young pitching arms for the Braves after hearing about Hurston Waldrop's going to the injured list. So just another guy that, I mean, it wasn't his fault yesterday. He did give up 6 runs, but Raisel Iglesias on the back end giving up a late homer in the 9th and after the Braves bludgeoned the Rays. So be nice to see what they're going to do going forward.
Well, it doesn't really matter, right? Just win 84 games like Arizona did.
Beat the crap out of the Tigers. You're
Just
playing the Tigers. Beat the crap out of the Tigers. Beat the Nationals. Beat teams you're supposed to beat. But no, I wasn't really paying attention to much golf. I'm not even really much of a golfer, but I saw that and that was insane.
Yeah, you just
that was
just got to get the 84. wins in baseball and get in the tournament. That's all that matters these days, right? I mean, that's the way it's been the last couple of years.
just pull what the Phillies did last year and make a run, late. Keep that wild card spot and you'll be fine.
So preparations are underway for tonight's Woody Anderson Ford Rocket City Awards presented by the Huntsville Sports Commission. We just finished up our rehearsal for that event this morning. It is sure to be spectacular. Now, you can watch the entire thing on Channel 19's web feed at WHNT.com. That's WHNT.com. Beginning at 7 tonight, we will be awarding great high school, college, and pro athletes, plus we have some special recognitions as well. It's sure to be a great night. And for the first time in 2 months, I'm feeling a little bit comfortable. I got to change my script a little bit. I got a bunch of notes on my script. I got to change my script as the as the host of the thing. But I think we're going to be. I feel like the hay is in the barn, and the show is going to be good.
Yeah, I think you'll be a great MC year 2, and I think everybody that's here that's been a part of it, and even the inclusion of Jimmy Lay, I think that's going to be a great bunch of presenters and Keith Neighbors as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Van Pettaway will be awarded the Billy Neighbors Lifetime Achievement Award tonight, which is fantastic. Craig Kimbrell is our pro athlete of the year, which is tremendous. He sent a video along from
sounded like he choked up too. So if you're watching it tonight, kind of listen into it a little bit. It sounded like he was tearing up a little bit.
Yeah, so that's kind of
he appreciated it.
That's a cool thing. We have a cool check presentation that'll take place tonight as well. From our golf tournament, so that's going to happen. So it's really going to be a great night, had by all. And next year I want that balcony filled. We didn't really do anything again this year. We were too late getting to the dance for that. We have like 230 people coming to the event, all the award winners and sponsors that'll be at tables. But there's a balcony where you can put another 100 people, which is beautiful at the Mars Music Hall. Fantastic location for that thing.
Be nice to make it just like standing room only, obviously, and just make it a bar. Yeah. Just like do what you can buy whatever they have at that concession stand, and then have it included in that.
Yeah,
that would be pretty
well,
cool.
They got seats. I mean, they got tables and seats. It's not even standing room. I mean, really.
Right, they have that whole bar room sitting. Yeah,
I mean, up there, the whole along the rail and everything, there's seats everywhere. So there's little high top tables. So we could put people up there. We just didn't do that this year. So we can next year maybe have another 100 people, at the event. But it's really becoming a signature night, I think, for the sports world in the Tennessee Valley.
I think a lot of people are looking forward to it. It's something that that's just really appreciative of the athletes, but the people that take the time to do a lot of great things in this city too, in the North Alabama area is great too. So,
let's get Natty Danny in here and get his take on whatever it is he wants to get his take in on. Dan, welcome to the show. How are you?
Well, I'm doing quite well. Speaking of that. I got the okay from Jit. My personal license plate is going to be Natty Dan.
Natty Dan is going to be your what? Your new license plate?
Yeah, I've got one already. It says Wolf Dan, but my truck, my big GMC, humongous, unbelievably gorgeous truck is going to be Natty Dan.
I have a suggestion that maybe instead of her, is it our fader or his phone? I think Grizz, instead of him buying a new license plate, he should get a new phone, because his phone has been shot ever since he got that phone.
I reset it.
So that's his. Is that his phone or is that us? You think it's our board?
That's him.
That's him, right?
Yeah.
Is that better?
No, it's not that. There's a crackling sound in there.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Anyway,
we'll know.
So congratulations to my real good friend Tim. He won the golf Becca, didn't he?
Jay in Athens.
What? What did Jay pick?
Jay had 1 under with his team. He had Bryson DeChambeau, and he had who else did he have here? I had it listed here a second ago. He had Bryson DeChambeau, he had Scotty Scheffler, and he had Xander Schauffele. So Bryson is 6 under, Schauffele is 1 under. That's 7. Scotty was 6 over, so that gives him a score of -1. He was the only guy under par.
Yeah. Okay, well Tim was close. I know that.
Yeah.
But listen, in that course over at Cherokee Ridge, they got it. They're roping off the sections. Got the bad weather on it. Okay, and they're gonna. So when your ball hits the roped-in areas, what happens is that it's going to end up by you got to pick your ball out and put it and drop it.
It's ground under repair.
Yeah.
When were you over there last?
I was just the past week. I'm going to the Arsenal Thursday. We're going to bake. It's going to be like a 94 degrees. But anyway, check it out. So the DeChambeau, when they said USA, were they taunting him or they were saying USA because he's an American player?
Because he's an American. They were going to USA. They were pulling for the American. They were pulling for the American.
No, I can't pull for him. I can't pull for him.
Because I live, right?
Tour.
Yeah.
And who pays for the live tour? The kind of
Saudis.
people that you betcha, buddy. And these ladies got to walk behind them. They're throwing people off of buildings, Rainbow Warriors off of buildings and stuff. Thom, I'm sorry, man.
I agree. I agree. I was flummoxed.
I would. You couldn't pay me enough to do that. It's just, you know what? I got a conscience. I can't sleep at night. I do everything as honestly as I possibly can because I know when I lay my head, I won't be able to sleep. Now, with that said, DJ should have stepped up and maybe matched some cash, and maybe they wouldn't have went to the live tour.
I don't think there's enough money out there to have stopped it. I mean, the money that they're throwing at the PGA Tour cannot compete with. They're just having to. They're trying to increase their money as fast as possible. Do you realize the total purse? And thanks for the call, Wolverine. I got to get a break in here so we can get to Matt Rudy. Do you realize the total purse for the U.S. Open was $21.5 million? The guy won $4.3 million for winning it. It was a record $21.5 million. All right, put that number in your brain. $21.5 million. Do you know that every live event, the purse is $25 million? For every single, you go out there and you play in your shorts with the music blaring on a 54-hole deal and a shotgun start, and you're playing for $25 million purse. So forget competing with them money-wise. You can't. They got too much money. The Saudis, because it's not a business for them. It's not a business. All right, can I get Jay in quick? I got to get him quick because we got to get to Matt Rudy. We got a short show. Jay, what's going on?
Hey, man, did I win a twosome or what did I win?
Foursome. You got a foursome at Cherokee Ridge worth $360.
With a cart, correct?
With the cart, yeah.
Okay, awesome. How many guys? I figured everybody would have Scotty and Rory, maybe Ludwig Alberg.
No, there wasn't. In fact, there might have been one or two Rorys, but if they had a Rory, they might have had like Victor Hovland, who missed the cut, so they took him out. Or they had, Justin Rose, who took him out, things like that. So you got to have your three guys got to make the cut. You got lucky because Scotty made the cut.
Yeah. Liv's going to be in Nashville this weekend.
They are at the Grove in Nashville, which is actually right down the street from where I used to live. I used to live no more than a mile from the Grove when I lived up there. That's where I lived in College Grove is what that town is. It's you say Nashville.
It private?
It's 40. Yeah, it's private. It's it's 30 miles south of Nashville. I mean, let's be honest. From here, it's only like 50 miles from here. So
yeah. So, I just want to call. I heard you say I won, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if it was a foursome or what.
But
I appreciate it, buddy. Yeah. You have a great day.
All right,
we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks. All right, let's get a break in. When we come back, Matt Rudy will join us from Golf Digest next on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at dan@danaldridgelaw.com. dan@danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers. Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. This summer, make Cheeseburger Bobby's your go-to spot for great food. Try their bucket list burger. 2 beef patties, fried egg, bacon, onion ring, 3 slices of American cheese, Bobby sauce, and topped with a pickle. Their fresh, hand-breaded chicken tenders are a fan favorite, and the chili cheese dog with fries will make you think you've died and gone to hot dog heaven. Cheeseburger Bobby's, 2785 Carl T. Jones Drive. Order online at cheeseburgerbobbies.com. Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
All right, I misspoke. Scotty was +8, not +6. Did not change the result of our U.S. Open trifecta. All right, this segment of the show is brought to you by the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. Unlike any other, it's the service department at Woody Anderson Ford servicing your vehicle and all vehicles as well. And don't forget the certified gold pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson Ford as well. The only place I've gone to in the Valley in 20 years or so now. All right, joining us now for a few minutes here is Matt Rudy from Golf Digest to wrap up the U.S. Open. Matt, welcome to the show. How are you?
You know what? I'm doing okay. How you doing?
I am fantastic. I must say I was flummoxed yesterday after I got through all of the Father's Day stuff and got home from church and fed everybody. Finally plopped down in the Barca Lounger about 2:30, 3 o'clock, and get ready to watch the rest of the U.S. Open. And I wanted to pull for the American, but I wanted to pull for the PGA Tour. And our first caller of the show today said when they were chanting USA, were they saying that when DeChambeau was playing, were they saying that mocking because it was the Saudi or were a Saudi tour, or were they saying that because he's an American? I said, no, I think they were pulling for him as an American. I don't think they were like mocking him because he plays on the Saudi tour. But I mean, I didn't know who to pull for. The bottom line was I wanted a PGA Tour, but I really wanted the American to win. So, that was tough.
I feel the same way, and it's for a variety of inside baseball reasons, and the obvious ones too. I've done lots of stories and talked to Rory a lot through the years, and he's been nothing but super, and he's an easy guy to root for, and it's a great story to win a major after going dry for 10 years. That would have been cool to see. Bryson, I did a story with him right when he turned pro, and he was kind of prickly and difficult, and I didn't enjoy it. But I hugely admire how hard he works and how willing he is to try anything to get better. And I think he's actually doing that with his personality and the way he interacts with people. And I think he's put a genuine effort in with his YouTube channel and the way he answers questions and the way he interacts with fans It's a genuine effort because I think he rightly knows that if there's positive energy out there in the crowd and people are pulling for you, that's a lot easier than people sneering at you because you're kind of a jerk. And it's surprising to me that more players don't kind of realize that there's energy in there and there's advantage in there. I mean, Arnold Palmer did it for 50 years. When people are out there rooting for you and pulling for you and they want you to do well, I think it makes days at the office a lot more pleasant.
And I wonder if somebody sent him to charm school or if somebody associated with Liv said, you know what, we need you to be Mr. Personality so people want to tune in and watch you next week when you're 50 miles from where we're sitting right now, where they'll be 30, 40 miles south of Nashville at the Grove, which is about a mile and a half from my old home in College Grove when I was on in Nashville. And so, all of those things are in play as well. And what I'm hoping is because we need these guys. We being a golf fan, we need these people all together. I mean, we're going to see them next week or next month. We'll see them over there at the British Open, and then we won't see them again for 8 months till the Masters. Because if they think that Bryson DeChambeau winning is going to make everybody go to the what is it called, the WB or whatever it is, and watch, live golf tournaments, it's not going to happen. That's not going to happen regardless of it. But we need these guys together. We need Brooks Koepka. We need DeChambeau. We need John Rahm at least. We need the top 10 guys that are over there all together on the tour because we want to see these guys all playing together. No disrespect to Scotty and Rory and the rest of them, but I'm hoping that maybe the way his attitude was and everything else and his excitement, maybe this will be the impetus to really get these conversations going to figure out a way to bring golf back together.
Oh, I think you're right, and I think what any sport needs is you need the stars to be playing against each other in meaningful competition. And the live part, they've definitely acquired stars, and what they're doing is not, the week in and week out tournaments are not meaningful for lots of reasons. And what we've discovered certainly is that just because something pays a lot of money, there's a big prize at the end of the tournament, that by itself doesn't make it meaningful. And I think what Bryson is figuring out is that if he goes out and does his own media, and he has a YouTube channel, and he's got videos that have 3, 4, 5 million views, he's saying to himself, I have this live platform, and it's my obligation to go out and build my own platform too, to try to make up for some of the eyeballs that I'm not getting in front of where I used to be, on the PGA Tour. But all of that is toward the common goal, which is what we just saw Sunday, which is to go play in the most important tournament. And nobody disputes that the 4 majors are the most important tournaments. It's why the live players are fighting so hard to get world ranking points. It's to get into those events. They're not fighting real hard to go play in the live event in Houston. They're fighting to get into the British Open. They're fighting to get in the Masters. So, I think all of that works together, to your point, which is how do we get the consensus? Number one, how do we have a system that identifies who the 20 best players in the world are, who the 50 best players in the world are, who the 100 best players in the world are, and who the emerging stars are to join that group? How do you have a system that does that, A, and then B, gets them in the same place whatever number of times you want to say is important? 4 times our majors, and what? Is it 10 times a year? Is it 15 times a year where they all play together? I think that's important for the sport. And everything that's happening is kind of the growing pains, to me, the inside baseball, growing pains to get to whatever that situation is. And so I think there's a lot of inequity in the market. There's people who are being overpaid. It doesn't make sense to give some of these guys all the money they're getting from Live, but they're exploiting this transition time when everyone's trying to grab their little piece of it. And I hope it gets solved sooner, because I know for sure fans are sick of millionaires arguing with billionaires. I don't think they want to hear about the dollar arguments. They want to see these players, just like we saw Rory McIlroy against Bryson DeChambeau. And DeChambeau hits one of the 3 or 4 best shots in the history of the U.S. Open, a 60-yard bunker shot to 3 feet to win the tournament. That's what people want to see.
Did you see the video of Johnson Wagner going in that same trap and trying to recreate that shot on a Golf Channel with the when it was all dark? It was amazing. So the first time he gets up there, he hits it and he basically blasts it right over the green. And then the second time he's going to try it, DeChambeau shows up, and then he hits the shot, and he says, "Oh, I chunked it." He thought he chunked it and didn't even get it to the green. And DeChambeau said, "No, watch, this is perfect." And it bounces up on the green and rolls up the inside of where DeChambeau's shot was. It was like 2.5 feet. I thought, A, that was hilarious. And I thought, B, it was so cool that DeChambeau showed up there and showed more personality, which I don't know where it came from.
Yes.
And C, it just goes to show how much imagination went into the shot, because Johnson Wagner thought he had chunked it. He thought he chunked it out of the trap, and it was the perfect shot. Well, that was amazing to see.
Well, I've been doing instruction stories with coaches and players in Golf Digest for this is my 25th year at Golf Digest. And almost to a person, if you talk to tour players, what's their least favorite shot, the shot they would not want to be confronted with. And we're talking about a shot on Thursday, at the Travelers this week in Hartford. Mm-hmm. It's a 60-yard bunker shot for exactly the reasons you described. Are you going to try to swing hard and hit it clean and spin it? Are you going to try to chunk it out? Or what is the what's the strategy, and how committed are you to the strategy to hit that shot? And to do it on Sunday at the U.S. Open, when you've been on the skillet, literally and figuratively, in 100-degree heat for 4 days, and all the stress of 4 days of trying to do this, it comes down to this one shot to hit it and to pull it off like he did. You've said, I've heard you say it on your show 100 times. That's what people want to see when they watch tour golf. They want to see heroes hitting shots that as an amateur player. If you were faced with that same pressure, you could look down, you'd literally see your knees shaking because it would be so stressful. And they did it. You couldn't ask for a better finish.
And what made it better was that he had to hack it out of the crap, after his drive. I mean, it was a choke fest down the stretch. It looked like, okay, nobody wants this thing. He's in the junk. He's got to punch it out. He punches it into the trap. I mean, he's hacking it all over the 18th, and we can identify with that. And we can identify with Rory. I remember playing college golf, and people would say, about a putt for birdie to win a hole and all the stress and everything else. And I'm like, forget about that. A 4-footer, a 3.5, 4-footer with that you have to win a hole in match play or whatever, or you lose the hole, not to win a hole, but to not lose the hole. The hole looks like a shot glass. You know what I mean? It tightens up so much. And Rory misses 2 of those. He had made, 500 of those putts in a row, and misses 2 on 16 and 18, and that was painful.
Well, and don't forget that the first putt he missed that's the one that was kind of inexcusable. That was 2.5 feet, and you got to make those to win the U.S. Open. The second one, anyone who wants to sneer at Rory for missing that putt, just go in your kitchen and put the ball down on the linoleum floor, or on the hardwood floor in your kitchen. And imagine that being 4 feet, and number one, 4 feet is farther than you think, and number two, make it downhill and side hill. Yeah. To contend for the U.S. Open when you haven't done it for 10 years. The speed of that putt, that is, and everybody said it on the telecast. He left that ball in a tough spot for a putt that you need to have. If you're uphill and and you can put a little speed on it to straighten out the putt, that's one thing. Downhill, side hill. It's ticklish, and it gives you more respect for what Bryson did with the leave on the bunker shot, and to make the putt when you need it. I mean, I give the USGA a tremendous amount of credit, because what they wanted to do is give a complete test, and you could not get a more ironclad example of a complete test where a guy had to hit a recovery shot, he had to hit a 60-yard bunker shot, and the other guy had to hit a slider downhill side hill putt, and he was exposed, and that's what this tournament is designed to do. It's designed to be a death march for 4 days, and by the time it gets to Sunday, how well can you keep it together to hit the shot that you need to hit?
Yeah, I described it as putting in a bathtub and trying to stop it before it hits the drain. That's how it was. That's how that putt was. All right, finally, does this mean, with DeChambeau winning a U.S. Open like this here, can we see another instruction article in Golf Digest coming regarding this single plane thing? Because I watched it with some casual golf fans, son-in-laws and stuff that were over the house last night, and one guy said to me, he goes, "What happened? Did he break his arm or something? Why does he look so weird the way he's holding a club?" And I'm like, "No, this is a single plane." And I was trying to Mo Norman. I'm trying to explain it to him. But then another one said, why is he hitting a 4-iron out of the trap? I said, no, all his clubs are the same length. I said, that's a sand. He's hitting a 50-degree wedge. It's got a shaft in it like an 8-iron or 7-iron or something. I don't know. But
there was another tour player who's not in the event, and he tweeted. He said, I don't think people realize that if you took one of Bryson's wedges, and this is a tour player.
Yeah.
He took one of Bryson's wedges with super upright and a big, huge, fat grip. A tour player would have difficulty just hitting a decent shot. I mean, his gear is so particular.
Right.
Not only that, they're all they're 3D printed essentially. It's a set of one. So I don't know how relatable a one-off 3D printed set of irons is that are they're all the same length and super upright for the average player. But again, I give him tremendous credit because he's questioned everything and said, sure, you're not supposed to swing as hard as you can off the tee because you're supposed to take control of the ball and keep some in reserve so you can play the percentages. And he challenged that. He said, I'm going to see what the outer limits of this is and what it does for my scores. And he challenged it, and he came up with something obviously that's now one and two of the most demanding in terms of accuracy, two of the most demanding tournaments you can win.
Yeah, and it was crazy to watch, that's for sure. He was changing the head of his driver on the first tee before he was teeing off. I mean, did you see that? He was like changing the head. I'm like, this guy is unbelievable. But in any event, Matt Rudy has been our guest. Matt, I appreciate you so much for jumping on board with us to break this thing down, and we'll see. I don't care. This is what they've done to us. I don't care about anything until we get to the British Open now. And I hate that. I just hate that. And by the way, can we please stop playing important golf tournaments the week before the U.S. Open? So Scotty Scheffler and all these other guys don't have to be all burned out the week before the U.S. Open. When did that happen? What? That's a dumb scheduling deal. I mean, they should be playing a John Deere Classic or something before the U.S. Open, not that.
And I think the tournament. I live in Connecticut, and the Travelers this week is in Connecticut, and that's another elevated event too. So ask me how excited those guys are going to be.
Yeah, 3 in a row.
Play what is a really historically a popular event, but they're not going to be at their best for sure.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate you as always. Great stuff.
You bet. See you.
All right. Let's throw it over to the pregame is underway now. North Carolina, Florida State are going to be playing in a elimination game to determine who plays Tennessee on Wednesday. They'll have to beat Tennessee twice, is my belief there, to get to the College World Series final. So we'll kick it over to that. Kind of doing this all week long, at least until Thursday, maybe. All right, that's going to do it. College Baseball World Series is next right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.